So we finally made it out of the house. I've been inside of my apartment out here in Spain right now for 10-12 hour days back to back for the last week or so. And I've been crushing it. I've been doing insane amounts of inputs. But today I got to a point where I just realized I need to get the F out of my house or stuff is going to go south. So in this video, when I talked about why you should probably get out of your house as well. If you're someone like me, if you're someone who's very driven, you're ambitious, you have big goals, and you feel this urgency inside of you that you're not doing enough right now. You feel like you should be moving faster. You feel like you should be making more money and succeeding faster. If that's you watching this video right now, you probably have this tendency to get overly locked in. Maybe it's just me, but I think there's someone watching this video who's experienced the same thing, where you just like end up in your house, in your room, wherever you're living, and you end up just like working insane amount of hours, and you cannot neglect everything else. You neglect social stuff, neglect going to the gym, maybe even neglect like all these important things, and you end up just like working because you have these goals and you have this urgency. And I think it's key to have that, because that's what got me from my first, like from being broke, from living with my parents back in Sweden and having literally negative money in my bank account, to make my first 10K months. It was just locking in and just like sitting in my room and just like grinding. That's how I got to that first 10K month. But there's a big mistake I see so many guys make, and because I coach a lot of guys, and I had someone ask me this question last week. One of the guys that I coach, I help to get into high-ticket sales, the business model I do, where I help them start making money online. Had this guy I recently started working with who asked me, he's like, Alex, I feel like I have like so much urgency to like move forward and work, which is a big sign that he's gonna make it. But he was asking me like, how do I continue having like the passion for the game? Like, how do I not lose my why, basically? And that's why I want to make this video and explain like how you can do it. Because for me, like when I hit my first 10K, I made a mistake. I completely just like lost traction altogether, and it definitely hurt my income and my like mindset overall. When I hit 20K, when I hit 40K, and recently when I hit 50K in profit in a month, USD, same thing happened, like over and over again. So I want to help you avoid that. It's by realizing that when you're constantly like on go mode, you're sitting inside of your house and it's like go, you're working. That's super important. But if you only do that, you get to a point where you almost get like burned out. Because here's the thing, I notice this massively. And a lot of people will disagree with this. A lot of coaches, a lot of people, especially in the US, they will say you should just like grind more and it's like hustle more. I don't think so, because when I do that, I tend to get to a point where I just lose passion for the game altogether. When I'm inside and it's like, whether it's, let's say for example with high-ticket sales, when I first started off in high-ticket sales, I was role-playing, I was getting calls reviewed from my mentor, I was doing outreach, I was just doing like all these inputs. When I landed my first role, I was going super hard on inputs. But it got to a point where I stopped. Like I was just going so hard, taking more calls, doing more reps, and trying to like just make more money, that I stopped having like this curiosity to watch a YouTube video or to reflect about sales, talk to my friends at dinner about sales. Like I stopped seeking out ways to get better, and I started just like becoming this like robot who was just doing inputs blindly. And that's a dangerous place to be in. It's a very dangerous place to be in when you're no longer curious, when you're no longer giving yourself space basically to improve. I went from literally, like I remember when I first went out to Medellin, Colombia, I would walk around with friends and literally it's like objection handle my friends, because I was like, so I always wanted to be sales training, like constantly. We were talking about sales, objection handling, discovery, like constantly sales talk at every single dinner, at every single thing we did. And that was like in the beginning. And that's the time when I hit my first 10K a month. And then 2-3 months later, when I hit 10K, 12K, a bit more, I noticed myself never doing that. I would, on my free time, be watching Netflix. I would, on my free time, do everything other than sales. And that's purely because of this reason, because I just almost gone too hard. I've been too input focused. It's like too in my room, grinding, just hustling, doing the inputs, that I lost the passion. And I don't know if you can relate with this. You probably can. Either you've experienced this yourself in your journey, or you're about to experience this, which is the issue of you're too focused only as like inputs right now. You're sitting in your room and doing stuff that's actually not that productive. You can actually just be doing better work if you went out and just reflected on what you're actually doing. That's the first thing, is like go outside and think about like what the stuff you're doing, is it actually the most productive and the most high leverage task, or are you avoiding the stuff that's hard? That's the first thing. But then the second thing is, let there be space in your calendar. That's what I told the guy in my coaching program that I told you guys about before, who came to me and asked me this. Like, Alex, how do I keep the curiosity? How do I keep my ability to, or my desire to improve? How do I stay in the game for the long term? I was like, bro, like you take a day of the week and you make that day, usually it's gonna be a Saturday or Sunday, and you make it a non-negotiable to take that day off, and completely detach yourself from the inputs during that day. That does not mean that you're not going to do anything that's going to bring you forward. For example, for him, he's doing high ticket sales. I told him like you should not be doing role playing and just like going hard on like his inputs. You should take a step back and look at your own calls. Review what you're doing. Reflect on how your calls are going right now. Reflect on your mindset. So you're still doing work, so to speak, but it's not input. It's not like it's actions and like pushing stuff forward. It's taking a step back, because what happens then, the beautiful thing with sales and all other things you could be doing, doesn't matter what you're doing right now, but I do high ticket sales, so that's what I'm going to talk about. But whatever you do, you take a step back, you will see these new things. You will see a new perspective. For example, this guy, he took a step back for one day from practicing and role playing. All of a sudden, like stuff made sense to him in the call. He's like, okay, this is how I actually find the pain in my sales calls. For example, this is how I actually like create trust and how I can improve my tonality. Like he saw these things that I've been telling him for a bit, but he's taking a step back without pushing harder. Instead of pushing harder, he took a step back and didn't do anything sales related for a day. And that's how we had a breakthrough. And it's the exact same thing for me. Like just walking up on this mountain right now, I realized stuff I've been working on for the last day or so hasn't actually been the top priority, like the highest leverage thing that I could be doing. But I didn't realize that by sitting in my apartment, it's like doing the inputs, you know? And it's like blindly, it's like working harder. I got that insight by walking up this mountain up here for like 30 minutes for an hour, and just like thinking about completely different things. That's when it popped into my brain. So the takeaway from this video is make time for detachment. Make time for just like completely detaching yourself from the work you're doing, and just like plan out a day in the week, maybe like afternoons after you're done with the work you're doing. Plan out time. What I do is I have 1 hour every single day before I go to sleep, and then also plan out 1 day every single week. To be honest, I haven't been that strict when it comes to 1 day. I've been slacking that. A lot of weeks I've been working the entire week every single day. But what we'll be doing moving forward is 1 day per week, completely like no work whatsoever, and then 1 hour per day. And that time is purely focused around just detaching, doing completely different stuff, like climbing up a mountain, going out into the forest, going in a lake, going to a beach club, or hang out with friends, or going on a jet ski. Like for me, like doing anything you can start off. It doesn't have to cost money. You can, like, if you're dead broke right now, you can just like go out in the forest where you live, or go to a lake, or climb a mountain where you live, and just do the opposite of the inputs, and you will see all these connections that will come up in your head. Like, stuff will make sense, and most importantly, you will keep the passion for learning, because you can't lose that. If you lose the passion for learning, you lose the passion for improving, you're dead. You're fucked when it comes to entrepreneurship. It's the most important thing that you can protect, so protect that at all costs. So, just some reflections from the mountain. I'm gonna head down now. Hopefully this was valuable. Hopefully it's not too windy so you can actually hear me. And I'll see you guys, as always, in the next video tomorrow. Take care. Ciao!